Oh, it's that time again. Welcome to 5 Point Play, a new NBA series where we discuss 5 different points related to an NBA topic. My name is 2K Kingslayer. Today we're going to be discussing 5 reasons why it might be a good idea for Kevin Durant to join the Dallas Mavericks in his upcoming free agency. Now, a quick disclaimer. I do think that the best situation for Kevin Durant would be to stay with the Warriors. I actually think if he stayed another year, he would be able to four-peat. But based on Kevin Durant's tone in interviews and his body language and a lot of the things that various media members have been reporting, it's safe to assume that he is leaving the Warriors. So let's talk about why I think the Dallas Mavericks would be a good destination for Kevin Durant. Number 1, he would be the undisputed face of a franchise once again. So, as we know, Dirk Nowitzki retired this season. This made me, personally, feel very sad and also old, because I remember Dirk with a terrible haircut playing alongside Steve Nash. A lot of you guys were not even sperm at the time. However, Kevin Durant should look at this as an opportunity. He could swoop right into the Dallas Mavericks franchise and immediately become their face. Now, you might say, well, what about Luka Doncic? Well, Luka Doncic is only going to be a sophomore next year, and while his rookie season was absolutely incredible and historic, I don't think anyone in their right mind would take a look at a pairing of those two and say that the Mavericks were Luka's team by any stretch of the imagination. And even if Kristaps Porzingis re-signs there, which I fully expect him to do, I don't think anyone would consider it Kristaps' team either, especially since he hasn't played a single game for them. Contrast this to Kevin Durant's current situation with Steph Curry. Durant has won 2 straight Finals MVPs and is in a good position to get a 3rd straight Finals MVP, and somehow there's still talk about whose team this is. I think a lot of Warriors fans themselves would take the side of Curry over Kevin Durant, if only for the fact that he brought them a championship before Durant was even there. This was even alluded to in a joke from Bob Myers back at that awkward Warriors championship parade, if you guys remember that. So even if it is all jokes, Kevin Durant is pretty sensitive and aware of the perception of him by both the fans and the media, especially in comparison to Steph Curry. And if he were to go to the Mavericks, then he wouldn't have to worry about that problem anymore, as he would be the clear face of the franchise, and I think his likability amongst NBA fans would skyrocket as well. Reason number 2 that Kevin Durant should consider the Dallas Mavericks: Maverick Mania. I bet a lot of you guys didn't know that the Mavericks, according to ESPN.com, had the 3rd highest attendance in the NBA this past season. For a team that didn't even make the playoffs, that's really impressive. Now, a lot of that has to do with Luka Doncic and the excitement that he brings to this team. But if you think about the fact that Kevin Durant is a player who sort of wants to rehabilitate his image within the mainstream media, within circles of NBA fans, the Mavericks have to be a pretty attractive destination with their fan base. And they do have one of the most loyal fan bases in the league, and so do the Warriors, by the way. But again, all of this is presuming that Kevin Durant is leaving the Warriors. So the fan base is one of the main reasons that I think Kevin Durant should consider the Dallas Mavericks. Reason number 3, they are not the Knicks. I'm not even being facetious here. I think this is a real selling point. Now, if you guys have been paying attention to the NBA rumors, a lot of pundits have been linking Kevin Durant to the New York Knicks. Some are saying it's already a done deal. Some have even suggested that Kevin Durant is going to be teaming up with Kyrie Irving. And with respect to Linsanity, it's been a very long time since this franchise has been actually relevant. With a handful of exceptions, free agents have been avoiding New York like the plague for the past couple decades, and that has a lot to do with the ownership. James Dolan is arguably the worst owner in the entire league. He clearly has no idea how to construct a competitive roster, no idea how to connect with fans. He threatened Charles Oakley with a lifetime ban. He banned a fan for even suggesting that he should sell the team. I mean, do I really need to go into more detail here? The Mavericks are not the Knicks, period. All right, reason number 4. The Mavericks are actually set up for success right now. So, if you take a look at the Mavericks organization, they don't have a lot of money tied up past the 2019-2020 season. So if we look at the Mavericks payroll over the next couple of years, Tim Hardaway Jr. is owed $18 million next season in 2019-2020, and then he has a player option in 2020-2021. That's a mouthful. That is not a great contract. But then we take a look at Courtney Lee. He's a solid veteran. He's owed $12 million next season. Dwight Powell has a player option, which I think he'll probably sign. Luka Doncic, of course, is on a rookie contract. Justin Jackson, Jalen Brunson, who I actually like, Ryan Broekhoff, and that's it. That's everybody. Now, again, we assume that Kristaps Porzingis is going to re-sign a long-term deal there, but you have to wonder, after the injury concerns and after his recent legal difficulties, is he going to get a max contract? I don't think so. So this kind of opens the door for a lot of wiggle room, so to speak, for the front office to either attract another max free agent or just attract multiple just good sort of sub-superstar, all-star level players that can come and help the team. To me, if I'm Kevin Durant, I'm going to bank on somebody wanting to come and play with me in a situation like that. Oh, and also, the Antetokounmpo that is not Giannis is on this team. He's 21 years old. So, I mean, he could become a thing. You never know. And finally, for the fifth and most important reason why Kevin Durant should consider the Dallas Mavericks, stability without inevitability. So, what do I mean by inevitability? So let's talk about stability first. The Dallas Mavericks, love them or hate them, are a highly stable organization. Mark Cuban, even though I don't like the man personally, he's done a pretty good job of putting teams together. Their front office overall is just really solid, and Rick Carlisle is one of the best coaches in the entire league, in my opinion. So, looking at that, if we're just taking the Mavericks at face value without even looking at the players on the team, is that the type of organization you would want to go play for? I mean, I would say yes, absolutely. And for those of us who lived through the Dirk Nowitzki years and watched him in his prime, it seemed like the Mavericks were always in the playoffs, constantly. For the most part, regardless of who Dirk even had around him, they were always in there. So that's what I mean by stability. Now, what do I mean by inevitability? Well, to me, the reason that most NBA fans had an issue with Kevin Durant signing with the Warriors in the first place is because even if he's the best player on that team, everybody and their mama knew that he was guaranteed to get multiple championships on that team. Essentially, what Kevin Durant did by signing with the Warriors was making the most sacred part of the NBA season, the finals, a foregone conclusion for 3 years. 3 years! We've known who was going to win the NBA championship before the season's even started for the past 3 years. How insane is that? Barring major injuries, he's going to get another one this year, regardless of how good all those teams in the East are. Nobody can match up with this Warriors team. So, that's why people were upset. If he were to join the Mavericks, he would be in a great situation where he'd be part of a big three with himself, Luka Doncic, and Kristaps Porzingis. But no one is looking at that team and thinking it's inevitable that they're going to win an NBA championship, right? I mean, there's injury questions with Porzingis, Luka's still really young. Essentially, it would be a team that would be really good and really fun to watch, but not one that would be guaranteed to win a championship. So, again, if I'm Kevin Durant, I'm thinking about my legacy and wanting to sort of rehabilitate my image in the sports media, within the circles of sports fans. This is something that I'm really strongly considering, and if he wins a championship for the Mavericks, I think it's fair to say that most fans would respect that championship a lot more than they would respect any of the 2 and about to be 3 championships that he would already have on his resume, just because of the situation that he's in. So yeah, man, those are my 5 reasons why I think Kevin Durant should strongly consider the Dallas Mavericks. This just started off as a fun little thought experiment, but I've kind of talked myself into this being a real thing. Like, this could be really fun if he goes to the Mavericks. I'd like to see it. The highlights would be a blast. And like I said, it'd be good for his legacy. So let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Let me know what you'd like me to talk about in the next 5 Reasons Why video. And if you enjoyed this one, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I'd very much like to do more of these. So until next time, happy gaming, y'all.